Good afternoon. I want to start by thanking the good people of Denver. Thanking each of you for all of your support last night. For those who helped us maintain peace, protect lives, and preserve property here in our city. Let me state loud and clear: the Denver Police Department values the lives of our residents, and we are working hard to maintain the peace and safety for all. And when I say all, I mean every community member, every protester, and every police officer. As we continue to say, we are outraged and disgusted by the death of George Floyd. However, when the behavior of a few agitators impacts the safety of others, we must do what we can to keep everyone safe. Last night, a person drove a car directly into 3 police officers and an innocent bystander. All were transported to the hospital. 2 of our officers were released, and a 3rd officer remains in the hospital, but he is expected to make a full recovery. A vehicle of interest has been located, and we are actively investigating this crime. We truly appreciate the public's concern for our officers. And again, these officers who were injured were doing so while serving our community. Thank you to our law enforcement partners from across the region, from other jurisdictions, who are helping us to keep Denver as safe as we can. I cannot overstate the significance of the support that these regional agencies and partnerships have helped us in this endeavor. I also want to thank the people who did come out and protest peacefully in a non-violent way, to express themselves in a constructive manner. We know there are agitators who have other goals to damage the city, our city, the city that belongs to the people of Denver. This is why Mayor Michael Hancock put in the emergency curfew, not to silence those who are upset with the system, but to remove the opportunity for those whose only goal is to create destruction. Last night was the first night of the mayor's emergency curfew order. We had over 80 arrests, many for curfew, but other charges including assault, destruction of property, criminal mischief, and felony weapons violations. We recognize and empathize with those who are upset with the disgusting death of George Floyd. We are too. I want to remind folks that our police officers are members of this community, just like you. They are mothers, they are fathers, they are sons and daughters. It is not us versus you. It is all of us versus this issue. We are asking for dialogue and not destruction. We see you, we hear you, and we want to work with you for meaningful change. We acknowledge we certainly can do better, and we are asking for your help. Let's work together. Let us, the city of Denver, the people of Colorado, be the light of change. Let us unite and show the rest of the country what it means to stand as one community against injustice. not only the injustices that we saw in Minneapolis, but also the injustice of violence that we see in our community, the violence that disproportionately affects people of color and young people in our city. We, the police department, certainly cannot do this alone. Please, please, let's work together to right a wrong and keep the people of this city safe. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Beth McCann, the district attorney here in Denver, and I just want to make a couple comments also. I absolutely share in the outrage and grief flowing through our beloved city over the killing of George Floyd. That video is incredibly painful to watch, and yet so necessary for us to watch. Understandably, it has filled us with anger and outrage, as does every tragic incident of racial violence in this country. I hear and I see the anger and pain over injustice against people of color ringing out in our community. I am committed to a fair justice system for all, and I work toward this goal every day. I will continue to fight with the leaders that you see here and other leaders and community activists in our city for a justice system that we can all trust. I stand ready to collaborate and work with those who are interested in finding long-lasting solutions to racism in our systems of government. We can work together to have the difficult conversations and develop solutions that work to build trust and keep our beautiful Denver community safe. The path to building that trust and developing solutions cannot, however, include violence and destruction. I spent the morning down here with several members of my office in the Civic Center area, picking up trash and cleaning up broken glass. The vandalism and graffiti is heartbreaking. Our beautiful state capitol is covered with disgusting graffiti, and windows are broken in the small businesses that are already struggling to recover from the devastating economic hardships caused by the virus. These are members of our community. These buildings around us are your buildings. You are destroying your own buildings. This is not Denver. This is not who we are in this city. To any who have infiltrated these peaceful protests with the goal of sowing discord and compromising the important message of this protest, stay home. You will be held accountable for your actions. But beyond that, you are weakening the points you are trying to make. This is not the way to send a message. Our great city has suffered a lot in the last few months with unexpected deaths and the fear of illness gripping so many of our residents. Let us now move forward together to address the cries for justice that we are hearing. And I want to take a moment to thank, as the chief did, those who are peacefully protesting to get their message heard, and to thank the members of our Denver Police Department who are working all day and night to protect those of us who live in this community and who value life and who value our beautiful government buildings. We are strong. Denver is governed by progressive leaders who are committed to including the community in the decisions that affect them. It is now time for us all to take the opportunity to collectively move forward to restore the broken trust in our criminal justice system. And I know we are all prepared to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, District Attorney McCann, and let me thank Police Chief Pazen as well. I want to first start by joining them and thanking all of the men and women who demonstrated yesterday and demonstrated peacefully on their way to raising the voice and the issues that we also care deeply about. I want to thank Chief Pazen and all of the officers and safety officials for their efforts yesterday in both supporting peaceful demonstrations of those who want to see justice after the death of George Floyd. People don't talk about the fact that 3 demonstrations on Friday went off very successfully and peacefully, with our police officers providing guidance and perimeter support. Yesterday's morning or mid-afternoon demonstration went off peacefully and successfully, with our police officers providing guidance and perimeter support. We also want to thank them for maintaining public safety when the curfew going into effect last night and responding to those who simply wanted to cause problems. I want to again acknowledge the fact that 5 of our officers were injured last night. I had the opportunity to visit with them late last night. I'm relieved to hear that they are doing better, and every one of them said to me last night they were ready to get back on the pony and to assist the city in remaining safe. And so we thank them for their service, and we'll keep them in our thoughts and prayers as they work to recover. We also had a civilian who was injured yesterday, and we'll continue to hope and pray for that civilian's speedy recovery as well. We want to thank the National Guard, the Colorado National Guard, and Governor Polis for deploying the National Guard, who helped protect our facilities last night and will do so again tonight. A big thank you to all of the Metro neighbors in several jurisdictions across Colorado who provided or offered support and supplies throughout the day and night. I had quite a few of our regional mayors reach out to me last night offering whatever else they could provide to help us get through the evening. I want to personally thank those mayors, those county commissioners, and other electeds who reached out to me last night and today offering their support. Those elected officials range from Congress to other state elected officials, as well as our local leaders. This morning, we were all grateful to wake up and to hear about a couple hundred volunteers who showed up unsolicited to help clean up our downtown area. And we want to send a very special thank you to everyone who helped clean up around Civic Centers Park this morning and this afternoon. We are enormously grateful. We are hearing from a lot of you that you want to come out and help, and we thank you for your desire to be helpful. And so I want to share and ask you to join with me in sharing the information that we will have 2 solid waste management employees stationed in Civic Center Park starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow under the big purple Denver Recycles canopy. And if you are desiring to volunteer to help us in the cleanup of our downtown Civic Center area, we invite you to come and join us. They'll be there again starting tomorrow at 8 o'clock. They'll help you get started and take care of setting you up to help us out. I want to remind everyone that once again, the curfew will be in effect tonight from 8 p.m. until 5 a.m. tomorrow. So again, if you are coming down to be a part of a demonstration today, we invite you to go home at 8 p.m., if not sooner, so you're off the streets at 8 p.m. So let's not have another night like we've had the last few nights. Let's all take this night to breathe and to prepare for a week of work and recovery in our city. And again, at 8 p.m. tonight, we ask everyone to go home so we can have a peaceful night and we can avoid any other provocations and injuries to civilians or law enforcement in our community. I want to extend a special invitation to all of the demonstrators as well. One of the things that we have always been careful to say is that we are still in the midst of a pandemic, and we did see and have witnessed people demonstrating in our community peacefully, as well as after hours when it's not so peaceful, without face coverings. And so we want to remind everyone and invite you that next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, go down to the Pepsi Center and get tested for COVID-19 for free at the Pepsi Center in the parking lot between 8 and 4 a.m. Allow for, if you have been exposed, we invite you to do it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or in the event you may have been exposed. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to go to the Pepsi Center between 8 and 4 and to get tested. Again, it's free, it is quick, it is painless, and at least we can use that opportunity to make sure that we continue to blunt the spread of the spread of the coronavirus. Okay? Are we going to take any questions? We'll take the questions inside. Okay, we can do it. We can do it here. We'll do it here. We'll be briefly. Yeah. Any questions? Thank you, Teresa.
Chief Pazen, can you confirm whether there was any long-range acoustic device used last night to keep people off the Capitol?
That amplifier, the speaker, was designed to communicate, to provide notifications and warnings, to make announcements that the curfew order was in effect, and that's the only purpose. When we had trouble getting that speaker going, then officers in their vehicles did repeated announcements over the PA system in their vehicles. We wanted to make sure that everybody knew exactly what was taking place at 8 p.m., the urgency and the need for this 8 p.m. curfew. It was announced through the cell phone notification system, and it was repeated over and over again to make sure that people knew what was expected of them and that we were seeking voluntary compliance in order to keep this city and the people of this city safe.
Chief, do you have any information about the officer that was seen on a video that was circulated on Twitter that seemed to be pushing somebody into a fire?
Have not seen that.
Mayor, you mentioned 5 officers. You also said 3. Just wondered if you could clarify how many officers were injured last night.
I'll let Chief confirm. In my understanding, there were 5. Not all serious or requiring medical treatment. But Chief?
And Chief, is there any update on the potential suspect that hit those officers?
We'll answer both questions. We've had dozens of officers that have been injured by this, and to the mayor's point, they have demonstrated great courage and dedication to want to come back and serve the good people of Denver, to protect this city. And we had several officers that were treated and released at the hospital, one that remains. However, each of them wants to come back and fulfill their duty of keeping our community safe. As far as a suspect, all I can say is that we located the suspect vehicle, and this is an active investigation that we certainly will follow through on.
Got it. And Mayor, just one last question. On Friday, you told 9 News that our officers are on the perimeter and will only engage if necessary to protect life and property. I'm just curious if you would describe that's how things played out the past few nights.
Our officers, again, I'm going to repeat, we had no less than 4 peaceful, successful demonstrations with police officers in present. And last night, again, we have activated our emergency operations center. Our officers engaged to protect themselves and demonstrators when bottles began to be hurled at them last night. So I am monitoring situations. The chief is the lead, along with the director of safety, the entire time. But I am up on the information, and when we start seeing them engaging, they're letting me know why they're engaging.
Chief, we've received a lot of reports of folks who say they've felt like they were attacked or used tear gas on when they were not provoking anyone last night. What are the use of force guidelines for tear gas use, and why was it deployed last night?
So again, our use of force policy, the use of force policy that this community, the people of Denver, both activists and allies worked jointly to create, clearly defines when tear gas, pepper ball, or any of our less lethal munitions can and will be used. And each of those are done in accordance with that policy. So active aggression is that threshold to use tear gas. And somebody throwing rocks, few agitators throwing rocks, individuals that hide under the veil of peaceful protests and create criminal and assaultive behavior must be addressed. And that's exactly how we do it. Again, this is the community's use of force policy with input from activists and allies in order to design a very strong and progressive use of force policy. And we will hold all of the members of our department accountable to that policy.
Thank you all.